If you're studying architecture right now, let me warn you, there are a lot of mistakes that can make your life harder than it needs to be. I already made a video about the 5 mistakes that architecture students always make before, and if you haven't seen that yet, make sure to check it out after this video. But today, we're diving deeper, because these are the mistakes I saw and made during my own time in school. The ones that don't get talked about enough. If you take these seriously, you'll be miles ahead of all of your other peers. You ready? Let's talk about it. Before that, let me introduce myself a bit briefly, and if you've seen my other videos, you might have seen that we are in a different space. It's actually the same apartment. This is just my living room, and I just thought I'd bring you guys out from the studio just to have a look in other areas of my apartment. The blinds at the back are not my favorite. We want to have some sheer curtains behind, but as of now, they are just blackouts, and the sun's shining in. The sun's setting in at the moment, and the light's just not really good, but I just thought I'd just change it up a little bit. Oh, sorry, and if you haven't seen me before, my name's Justin. I've graduated from 5 years of architecture school and have worked in the industry full-time for 3 years now. So I'm on my way to getting registered, so I do know a little bit about what architecture students have faced, and I'm trying to prevent you from having that same issue as well. Enough yapping, let's get into it. Mistake number 1, overcomplicating your design. When I was in uni, I thought complexity meant brilliance. The more curves, the more angles, the more stacked layers. In my mind, it was the more architectural. But what I learned is that complexity without clarity oftentimes causes a lot of confusion. You can have the most dramatic form in studio, but if your drawings can't explain what's happening, your professors will see straight through it. It's not that complex projects are bad, it's just that complexity needs reason. If you can't explain your concept in one clear sentence, oftentimes it's probably because it's too complicated, even for yourself. When you simplify, you don't lose depth. And then when you don't lose depth, you understand your project more clearly, and then you'll be able to reveal a lot more to your audience, or in this case, your design crits. The best projects that I've personally seen are the ones that have one strong concept and everything else revolves around it, and it's usually a simple idea that's refined over time. You have 12 weeks during a design studio, so you have plenty of time to make sure that your concept becomes what you want it to become. Here are some tips of how you can fix this issue. You can start by writing down your concept before you draw it. I've made this mistake myself where I'm so excited with the design. Before I have a concrete idea, I would then just go straight into Rhino or AutoCAD or whatever you use in your country, and I would just start modeling. Frantically modeling, having a bunch of cubes, having a bunch of crazy shapes, and then in the end I have to scrap it all because I don't really have any concrete idea, and it was just a waste of time. Not worth it. 100% do not recommend. If you can't explain your concept in one single sentence, it's probably not a great one to start with. And you probably don't understand it yourself. You can also fix this issue by building complexity through layers of personal logic, stuff that you understand yourself, and just, I guess, just through a lot of research, structure, light, circulation, and just not through forced chaos. Remember, simple and strong often beats chaotic and messy. Mistake number 2, ignoring context and sight. This is a big one. Too many students design the buildings as if it sits in vacuum space in the middle of nowhere. They forget that there's a world around it. Neighboring buildings, roads, street lamps, existing parks, existing site conditions, history, and community. Remember that your design doesn't live in isolation. It belongs somewhere. When you ignore context, your building might look nice, but it won't belong anywhere. In the real world, architecture is a conversation between your building and the environment that it sits in. How does it meet the ground? How does it respond to shade, to neighbors, to people walking past? I learned this lesson the hard way in my 3rd year of architecture studio. I designed a pavilion that looks great in its rendered form. When I pinned out, my tutor first asked me this: where's the road? This is a north point. Where's your scale bar? Where's this building? Like, what is it? This is an object. This is not a building. And I blanked. I can't believe I didn't even consider where the main entrance of the building is. What the heck? It's one of those never again moments. Here's how you can make sure that you never ignore your site ever again. Spend a few hours or even a day just studying your site. If it's nearby, actually go to it. It makes you understand how the people around are living in the space. Like for our studios in Melbourne, the design studios are usually set around areas nearby, so you can actually take a tram or a train or drive all the way down, and you can actually experience the site on your own. Walk it, sketch it, photograph it. All of this helps you when you go into future practice as well. And if it's too far, just use Google Maps and just use the internet, ChatGPT, and just get as much information as you can about the location, because that will help strengthen the narrative for your own project. Ask yourself this: what's the story behind the space, and how can my building add on to it? Here's a saying that one of my tutors used to say to me: great architecture isn't meant to shout at its surroundings. It's meant to listen to them and be a part of them. Mistake number 3, underestimating technical drawings. I know, renders and visuals get all the attention, but the plans, the sections, and the elevations, that's usually where your project truly lives. That's usually what you get marked on by your crits as well. even though they don't tell you from the get-go. I've seen so many students pour weeks into beautiful renders, but their plans just don't line up. Their sections are out of scale to a point where the design crit will usually point it out, and that's the point where your design crits or even your future employers might not be super impressed by. Unless you are signing up for a visualization role, then that's a completely different topic. Good drawings aren't just technical, they are also a language. They actually tell the story of how your building actually works. When you can produce clean, logical drawings, you're not just a designer anymore, you're actually a communicator. And that's what's gonna make professionals take you seriously. Here's how you can fix yourself from underestimating technical drawings. Always start with plans and sections before rendering. You need to get the bones right first. Also remember to use proper line weights. If it's a wall, make sure that you can see that it's a wall. Use human scales, put figurines into your model so that people can understand the spatial awareness of it. And furniture. Furniture is something that's usually added last, but if you can shape your project around furniture, you can really start to understand the scale of the project, and then it makes your whole project a bit more legible as well. It helps you test real usability. Mistake number 4, not being able to handle critiques well. Crits, they're brutal. I know, they're public and they can really mess with your confidence if you're not ready for them. Most students go into crits either being defensive, silent, or desperate to please everybody. No, don't do that. But remember that critics aren't about impressing the people that you're presenting to. It's about clarifying your design and standing up for your design without being very defensive. If you shut down, argue, or panic, you miss the learning opportunity that's right in front of you. Again, these crits are not here because they signed a contract saying that, oh, how many students can we make cry tonight? They're there to actually help you. No matter how nasty they are, that's their job. It's not to roast you for fun. Your tutors, even when they sound harsh, they just want you to be better. They're honestly not attacking you, they're just trying to help you see what you yourself can't see yet. Some of my best projects honestly came out of the crits that hurt me the most. No regrets though, because once the sting faded, I realized that the feedback was exactly what I needed. Learning to handle crits gracefully is honestly a superpower. It teaches patience, maturity, and a lot of adaptability. Skills that will serve you for the rest of your career. Here's how you can mentally prepare yourself for crits with a lot of grace. Make sure to prepare a short elevator pitch first, before the presentation. 2 to 3 sentences that summarizes your entire concept. And again, make it simple so that you yourself can understand it, people that see the project for the first time can understand it, and it's not just a bunch of mumbo-jumbo architecture jargon from a podcast that you listened. You also need to learn to listen before you speak. After the crits, breathe, think about it, and then only respond. Don't jump into conclusions straight away. Honestly, remember that every critique is kind of like a consultation service. You've already paid for it for school. Might as well use it to your advantage, because this can really shape you as a designer for the future. Mistake 5, and honestly this is something that I wish someone told me a bit earlier: forgetting to take care of yourself. This might be the most overlooked mistake of all. Architecture school makes you believe that your value is down to the amount of work that you produce. That if you're not suffering, you're just not working hard enough. But that's just not true. You can't design spaces for people if you're disconnected from yourself. I know students who skip meals, sleep less than 2 hours a night, or isolate themselves in the studio for weeks. It's honestly heartbreaking, and I was one of them at some point in my architectural life as well. And you know, it shows in the work, how you present yourself during studio, and in your own personal confidence as well. Remember, architecture school is a marathon. It's really not a sprint. 5 years is a long time. And taking care of yourself is not a weakness. It's honestly sustainability, because if you want to make it through these 5 years, you gotta buckle up. And I think I started this a little bit late in my architecture school life. It's more in masters where I just started to take my exercise, sleep, and my diet more seriously, that my studio work actually improved. Surprisingly, I had more focus, better ideas, and I wasn't constantly on the edge of burnout. Let's face it, you can't build good architecture if you're on the brink of exhaustion all the time. Here's a few simple tips I'm giving to you to take care of yourself. And these might sound really basic, but someone's got to tell you. Sleep before every crit. Even if it's around 4 hours. 4 hours is better than 2, 2 is better than 0. Drink water and not just caffeine. Oh my days, the amount of Red Bull, coffee, tea that I've seen scattered around my university during the peak presentation period, quite concerning. Take breaks, talk to people outside of architecture, but don't let them and the amount of spare time that they have affect you. Because from personal experience, whenever I hang out with people outside of architecture, they'll be like, oh, I'm so chill, you know, uni is so easy. And I'll just stare at them and I'll be like, no, it's not. You don't know what you're saying. But those were the good days. And last but not least, protect your joy, because you need it when deadlines hit. Always remember why you started architecture school in the first place. So there you have it. 5 more architectural mistakes that I personally made, and a few ways to help you avoid them. If you can simplify your ideas, stay grounded in context, master your drawings, take critics with a lot of grace, and last but not least, take care of yourself. You'll not only survive architecture school, you might actually enjoy it. No promises though. Architecture school isn't just about learning how to design buildings. It's about learning how to build you, your habits, your personal mindset, and all of your resilience. If this video helped you, make sure to grab my free architecture portfolio in the link down below. It's the exact portfolio that helped me land my first job straight out of unis, and I think it will benefit you too. Now again, if you haven't seen it yet, make sure to go check out my very first video about the 5 mistakes that architecture students always make. Together, these 2 videos are the ultimate guide to surviving but also thriving architecture school. You've got this. Keep building one project at a time. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.